Hello, my name is Natalia and this is my YouTube channel, Sigil the Explorer. Today I'm going to make another reaction video, but today it will be different from the ones I made before. I mentioned a while ago that I would love to make some reaction videos to history videos. As I love history, I'm interested in it, and I would like to learn more. So today I decided to start with one. But today it will be maybe not about learning, maybe more about having fun. So the video I'm going to react to is called Henry VI and His Six Wives as Never Seen Before. What it is about. So there is a graphic designer who is interested in history. So what she does is she takes portraits of some prominent and famous history figures, and she tries to imagine how they would look like today. And, well, she shows her projects to the people. And I found this video that shows her work, but this is only about Henry VI and his Henry VIII and his six wives. So it will show how would King Henry VI, my God, why six? Henry VIII of England would look like today, together with his six wives. So let's see, let's dive in.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. An artist uses her Photoshop skills to reimagine royalties from distant history as modern people living today. Let's check it out. Becca Saladin is a full-time graphic designer who loves history. One day she started to reimagine what would historical figures look like if they were alive today. King Henry's second wife, Anne Boleyn, is her favorite historical person, and she started to reimagine her with modern hair and makeup. This way, she was able to relate.
So, we'll see Anne Boleyn already. So this is the second wife of Henry VIII. And that's how she would look like today. But this is only introduction. I guess there will be some main plot here. Okay, let's see.
To her better as a human, instead of just as a historical figure. She continued the same work with all other wives of King Henry VIII, and expanded with worldwide historical figures, creating a very unique project called Royalty Now. But let's go back to Henry VIII and his six wives, and see her incredibly unique work. I am sure you will be amazed.
Yeah, okay, let's
Enjoy.
see, yes. Okay, so Henry VIII. So here we have some basic information. So he belonged to House of Tudor, best known for his 6 marriages, English Reformation, and as the father of the Royal Navy. Successors, his children. Yeah. All right, so let's just see his portrait, and maybe I will add some more information. All right, so this is well, quite a famous portrait of his. Okay, and this is how he would look like today. Okay, so let's make a pause here. So just I want to mention that this is a portrait of his older years. So here he's already overweight. I guess he has, not I guess, but he already has his injury to his leg. Of course, we don't see it here. So let's look at these two, well, one of photo and his portrait here. I think he looks pretty the same, right? So his face oval, and his eyes, his nose, even the form of his lips is the same, and well, of course, the beard. He does look like a businessman to me here, honestly. Yeah. But I started to tell that this is one of his portraits when he's older. In his younger years, he is believed to be quite a handsome man. I actually haven't seen his portraits when he was younger. Actually, he became king when he was 17. So, well, obviously he's not 17 here. But I don't know, maybe the portraits when he was younger were not saved. I don't know. Yeah, but this portrait is very good, I think. Yeah, and yeah, I like it. All right, another portrait. All right, interesting. Okay, so here they are together. Here, well, a person is still the same, and the portraits are, yeah, quite similar. Yeah, I would definitely recognize him, I think. Only the hat looks a little bit weird, I think. Here, he doesn't look like a businessman to me. But still, the portraits are very good. Yeah, it's the same person. Yeah, just nothing else to add. Very good. But I would definitely would like to know how he would look when how he looked when he was younger, and the modern version of him. Yeah, it would be very interesting to learn. All right, so his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. We see, so their marriage was in June 1509, and it lasted, by the way, until May 1533. So this was the longest marriage of Henry VIII. So Henry was only 17, as I mentioned. Catherine was 23. By the way, Catherine was a widow of the elder brother of Henry. So his elder brother died unexpectedly, pretty young, and that's why Henry got the throne. He actually was brought up, and he was not supposed to be the king. He was not brought up to be the king. Yeah, Arthur, I think it was Arthur, right? I mean, his brother, he was brought up to be the king, but not Henry. But anyway, so he married Catherine, his brother's wife, so his brother's widow. And some historians say that it is believed that Catherine of Aragon was the wife that he actually truly loved. Of course, nobody knows for sure, but that's what some people believe. Catherine was the mother of Mary I of England, and Mary I, I think she was the first female monarch of England. Also, by the way, she is known as Bloody Mary in the history. Yeah, when she came to throne, I think she wanted to return Catholicism to England. Yeah, and she executed 300 people for being Protestants. She was pretty cruel. But also, Mary was the only child of Catherine and Henry who survived infancy. So all the other children died. But Henry, he really wanted to have a male heir. And when he, realized or lost hope that Catherine wouldn't bear him a male heir, he started to look around. And that's when he found his second wife, Anne Boleyn, but that I will tell this story about a little bit later when we will be talking about her. Now, let's see how Catherine of Aragon would look like today. Alright, so that's her portrait that we know. All right. So that's her modern portrait. All right, so that's. Let's make a pause to compare. I think, yeah, they look. Yeah, it's like the same person. Only this one is an older version. This is the modern version. Yeah. Her face oval is the same, I think. Her nose, her lips even are the same. Even her eyes, by the way, despite wearing some makeup, right? Her eyes look the same. Wow, that's interesting. By the way, Catherine of Aragon was Spanish. She was a daughter of Spanish royals. Generally, very good. Yeah, I like her. Definitely. And I would recognize her. Yeah, for sure. All right, now we are coming to the second wife of Henry VIII, and that was Anne Boleyn. So as I mentioned before, when Henry realized that Catherine would not give him a male heir, he started to look around. By the way, before finding Anne Boleyn, he had a brief affair with some other girl. I don't remember her name, but she brought a child into the world, and it was a boy. His name was Henry Fitzroy, and I think he is only one child, illegitimate child, that Henry actually recognized. After that, he had an affair, also not a very long one, with Anne Boleyn's sister Mary. But then he switched his attention to Anne. But Anne Boleyn, by the way, was not interested in becoming a mistress. She wanted to become the queen. What Henry did was he asked the Roman Pope to divorce him from Catherine of Aragon. The Pope denied, so they refused to do that. And what Henry did is that he just refused to be Catholic anymore, and he just established the Church of England, and that's how Reformation in England began. So he divorced Catherine of Aragon and married Anne Boleyn. So what do we have here? Yeah, so she was accused of adultery and treason. So she was the mother of Elizabeth I of England. So she brought into the world a daughter, but Henry VIII wanted a son. After several more tragic pregnancies, which resulted in stillborn babies, Henry VIII again started to look around, and he found another girl to be the queen. So he just accused Anne Boleyn of treason and adultery, and he beheaded her. Yeah, and here we have the date on the 19th of May of 1533. But yeah, now let's look how Anne Boleyn would look like today. Okay, so here is the portrait, but actually we already saw her. Okay, so quite a beautiful woman, right? Okay, so here we can compare the two portraits. All right, so now she does look like Spanish a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, so her face oval looks the same. Her nose, her lips. Honestly, her eyes look a little bit different. I don't know. I like the picture, but I think I wouldn't recognize. So if I would look, if I didn't know that this is the recreation of Anne Boleyn, how she would look like in modern times. So if I looked into these two pictures, I think I wouldn't recognize that this is Anne Boleyn. Yeah. Because of her eyes. Yeah. Maybe it's because of makeup. Yes, because we see that in the modern version, she wears some eyeliner and some mascara, that's for sure, and her eyebrows are a little brighter than here. Maybe because of that. So eyes are a little bit different, and as we know, eyes are, I don't know, are the highlights of our face. Yeah. Although a cool job, really, really good, but I really wouldn't recognize her. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. All right, now Jane Seymour. So she was the third wife, and she was the one who finally gave Henry VIII his male heir. So later he would become Edward VI of England, although he wouldn't reign a long time. He was born a sick child, as far as I remember. And he would die quite young. But at the time, Henry was happy, of course, but his wife, Jane Seymour, she died after from the complications at birth. And by the way, here we have this information that this is the only wife to receive a queen's funeral and Henry's only consort to be buried beside him in Windsor Castle. Yeah, that was his wish. By the way, after Jane died, Henry VIII remained single for 2 years. I don't know, actually it is not known. Either he was mourning Jane or he was too happy, so he finally achieved his goal to have a male heir, or maybe both. But he didn't marry anyone for 2 years after Jane Seymour's death. And now let's see how she would look like today. So here we have the original portrait. All right, and this is the modern version. Okay, let's wait. Okay, so here we have them both. Now let's make a pause to compare. Here, the face oval even is, almost the same. Maybe a little bit around the chin, a little bit different, but not much. So her lips, her nose, her eyebrows are a little brighter, but it's fine. Actually, opposite to the one of Anne Boleyn, whose eyes. By the way, this is just my opinion. Don't take it very seriously. This is just my opinion. But here. The modern version also wears some makeup, so we have some eyeliner and eyelashes are a little bit more visible, I guess, with the help of mascara. But I see the similarity. Yeah, I think I would recognize her. So if I didn't know. I would match those two portraits. Yeah. Very good. All right. So this is Jane Seymour. Now, this is the fourth wife. So Anne of Cleves. So here, as I mentioned, Henry VIII, after the death of Jane Seymour, so he remained single. But then one of his advisors advised him to marry someone to form some political alliance, as it is stated here as well. So, and they stopped at a prominent family in Germany. So there were two sisters. One of them was Anne. Another one, I don't remember the name. Henry asked for their portraits. So he looked at them and he chose Anne. But when she arrived in England, Henry was furious, and he said, here is actually stated here, that she looked nothing like the painting. I think she even he told something like she looked like a horse, something like that. But as the marriage process was already going on, although he didn't want to marry her, he still married her in January 1540, but he divorced her in July 1540. But Anne of Cleves, she was the girl, the queen, or I don't know, the girl who got away. So she was not beheaded, she didn't die, right? She was divorced, but let's say she was not forgotten. And accepted a divorce and generous settlement. And I think it is believed that they parted actually quite amicably. And some sources, I think, call her like king's sister. So yes, she was the one that got on with Henry after their marriage quite well. But yes, she outlived King Henry. Yeah, that's it about Anne of Cleves. So let's see. By the way, I already saw the portrait, of course. I mean, the original one I didn't see yet, the modern one. But I actually, this is again just my opinion. So when you look at the portraits of all his wives, the original portraits, I would say that Anne of Cleves was the most beautiful one. This is just my opinion, of course, but let's see how she would look like today. You see, I don't know, I like her portrait. Oh, wow. All right, so please show us both. Okay. Now, okay, let's make a pause here. Honestly, my opinion stands that even the modern version is I think the most beautiful one. Again, I already mentioned it twice, but I will repeat it again. This is just my opinion. Don't take it seriously, please. So let's compare. I think even with makeup, it's clear that the modern version wears makeup. So there are some eyeliner, the mascara, and yeah. But her face oval, her nose, and her lips. Well, okay, in the modern version, maybe she smiles. No, it's not a smile. I'm actually not even sure if she's smiling or not. But her lips are a little bit maybe wider, maybe. But her eyes, they do look the same. Yeah, very good. And I think she's beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. All right, so the fifth wife. Another tragic story. So Catherine Howard married Henry when she, by the way, she was 17 or maybe 19, actually. I think the sources are not clear about this. Henry VIII was already 49, so older than her, a lot older, I would say. By the way, by this time, he already was overweight and he had his injury already. By the way, his leg injury, it never healed. And sources say that it smelled really badly, really badly. At first, he just bathed her in some presents, in beautiful and expensive gifts. But then something went wrong, apparently. Actually, rumors of adultery started to spread. Henry, of course, was furious about this, and yeah, he accused her of treason and adultery and also beheaded her. Yeah, and she was either 19 by this time or in her early 20s. Now let's look at her. Okay, so this is the original portrait. All right, so this is the modern version of Catherine Howard. All right, so let's make a pause here to look closely a little bit. So her nose is the same, her lips, her face oval as well. Her forehead is quite like a little bit. No, it was big, and here it remains the same. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. Yeah, and the color of her both eyes and hair is the same. But I think, as in the case of Anne Boleyn, I think I wouldn't recognize her because of her eyes. Here in the modern version, they are. And this is not the makeup that makes me say that. Her eyes are more, I don't know if it's the pupil that is bigger, or I don't know. The color of the eyes seems to be the same, but still, to me, it looks like a different person just because of the eyes. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's true that the eyes are the highlight of our face. Yeah. I still think that the portrait and the modern picture is very cool, but I think I wouldn't recognize her. Yeah? Okay, let's move on. All right, and now we came to the last wife of Henry VIII, so Catherine Parr. He married her in 1543 and stayed married to her until his death. So this is another wife, by the way, who outlived him, but only by a year. She died a year after Henry. And yeah, we see that. So Henry died in 1547 and she died in 1548. At first, their relationship was not really that amicable, but she had a lot of patience. By the way, by this time, Henry his behavior was not really good. You know, he was erratic, and also, I guess, his leg injury, of course, bothered him a lot. But Catherine was caring, as here it is said. She was caring and kind and very patient. And yeah, it is also said here that she persuaded Henry to restore his daughters, Mary and Elizabeth. So Mary, the daughter of Catherine of Aragon, and Elizabeth, the daughter of Anne Boleyn, to the order of succession, so that they would be able to become queens after Henry died. And by the way, if only Henry knew that, well, not Mary. Mary was an interesting figure, but Elizabeth I, who would be Elizabeth I, if only Henry knew that she would become one of the most prominent and successful monarchs in the history of England. She would reign for a long time. And she would be very successful. If only he knew, maybe, he wouldn't be so cruel to his wives, especially her mother. I mean, Elizabeth's mother, Anne Boleyn. Anyway, let's see how how Catherine Parr looked like and would look like today. So here we see her original portrait. Alright, and this is her modern version. Alright, so let's wait till we see them together. Alright, and let's make a pause. Alright, so face oval, definitely hers. The nose and the facial expression, by the way, is the same. This is, by the way, what amazes me in these modern versions. All of them. All of the modern versions had the same face expression. This is so cool. Okay, so her nose, her lips are the same. So now let's focus on her eyes. So her eyes look almost the same. You know, I think they do look similar, not the same, similar. But would I recognize? Would I match those two pictures if I wouldn't know that? Okay, this is Catherine Parr, the original portrait, and this is Catherine Parr, the modern version. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure. I think I would. They still, they do have the same facial expression, which is so cool. Okay. Let's move on.
I hope you are enjoying the video. Please show some love by sharing, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Okay, now we have a bonus. Mary I, Elizabeth I, and Mary Boleyn Anne's sister. So Mary I is the, again, daughter of Catherine of Aragon, together with Henry. Elizabeth I is the daughter of Anne Boleyn, and Mary Boleyn is the Anne's sister, with whom Henry VIII had an affair. All right. Let's look at Bloody Mary. Oh, wow. All right. She does have the same facial expression. That's true. So her face oval is the same. Her lips and nose are the same. Yeah, nose. The color of her hair. So eyes. Yeah, they are the same. So if you try to imagine her eyes without makeup, that will be the same person, that's for sure. And her look is so crazy, I think. But actually, she looks like an actress to me. She's a beautiful woman, right? Okay. Ooh, Elizabeth I. All right, so let's make a pause. Even her hair, I mean, the style of her hair is almost similar to the one, to the original one. Yeah. All right, so, okay, in the modern version, maybe the facial expression is a little bit different. Here, maybe it's smiling or some, I don't know. Is it smile? Yeah, I guess it is smile. Anyway, her lips, her form of her face, yeah, it is the same. The nose is similar. It's the same, not similar. You know what? Even her eyes are the same. By the way, here, she doesn't wear much makeup in the modern version. Yeah, I think I would recognize her. And she is beautiful. Yeah, and by the way, yeah, she reigned until 1603, which is, yeah, pretty a lot. It's a long time. Okay. I like her, yeah, very much. By the way, I would say that if I would look at her, I would think that she is a painter or a designer. I don't know, she does have this look. Oh, and this is Mary Boleyn. So, okay. So this is the elder sister of Anne Boleyn. Yeah, the modern versions, by the way, have similarities. Yeah, I think if you put those two pictures together, yeah, you could see the similarity. You could see that they are related. I don't know, sisters or not, but they are related. That's true. By the way, the original ones, I wouldn't say so. Interesting. This is interesting. Okay. She looks similar. Her nose, her lips are a little bit wider, but yeah, that doesn't matter that much. Okay. Again, her eyes, actually here, her eyes look more similar to the original version than the eyes of Anne Boleyn's. But I still am not sure if I would recognize her. Interesting. Okay, but still, so cool. Okay.
That's all for today, folks. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Until next time, bye and have a nice day.
Okay, so that's it. Yeah, it was an interesting video, and I had so much fun at comparing the modern versions of Henry VIII and his 6 wives, and also there was a bonus of 2 of his daughters and his mistress at some point. Yeah, so that was my first history reaction. Well, I had made a reaction to the country balls about history of Belarus, but that was in Russian, so I don't know if it counts. In English, that was my first reaction to a history video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you liked it or not, and if you have some suggestions for me to react to something. I would certainly watch that video then and make a reaction video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and see you next time. Bye.